I found out my daughter's fiancé was the man who assaulted me. Their wedding is tomorrow. 4 days ago, I was arranging welcome baskets in the hotel suite when he walked in. I hadn't seen his face in 23 years, but I recognized him instantly. Brandon Wilson Part, the man who attacked me in college, now wearing a future son-in-law shirt my daughter Emily had given him. The basket I was holding crashed to the floor, champagne bottles shattered as our eyes met. He froze, then quickly composed himself. Mrs. Anderson? He smiled politely. Emily said you'd be here, need help with those. I stood paralyzed, my mind racing through impossible scenarios. The charming investment banker my daughter had fallen in love with, Perton, the man who'd proposed on a beach at sunset with her favorite flowers. Perton was the same person who had left me broken in an empty parking lot decades ago. I'll get the hotel staff to clean this up, he said smoothly, stepping around the broken glass. As he passed, he whispered, don't make a scene. She'd never believe you anyway. I drove home in a daze. Brandon was right. Parrot, how could I tell my daughter on the eve of her wedding that her perfect fiancé had assaulted her mother in college? I had never reported it. There was no record, just my word against his, and Emily had always been skeptical of my overprotective nature. That night I couldn't sleep. By morning, I had made my decision. I wouldn't disrupt the wedding, but I wouldn't let him get away with it either. I needed proof that would make Emily see the truth. I called Ellen, my college roommate, who had found me that night. She had taken photos of my injuries, hoping to convince me to report him. I never did, but Ellen kept the pictures parent just in case, she'd said. 23 years later. Just in case had arrived next. I tracked down Melissa, another woman from our college who had confided in me about a similar experience with Brandon. Back then, we were both too scared to come forward. Now she was a prosecutor who specialized in sexual assault cases. I've been waiting for this call for decades, she said quietly. Yesterday, I met with Brandon alone, ostensibly to discuss wedding details. I placed Ellen's photos on the table between us. You remember these? I asked. His smirk disappeared. What do you want, money? I want you to tell Emily yourself, or I will part with these and with Melissa Thomas's testimony. Melissa? His face paled. No one would believe some ancient accusation. I slid a folder across the table. Melissa kept better records than I did, and as it turns out, the statute of limitations hasn't expired in our state for these particular charges. Brandon laughed nervously. You'd ruin your daughter's wedding day over something that happened in college? No, I replied. You will ruin it by being the person you've always been. I am just making sure she knows exactly who she's marrying. I stood to leave but paused at the door. You have until the rehearsal dinner tonight. After that, I'll be having a conversation with Emily and with the district attorney Pertain, who happens to be Melissa's colleague. The rehearsal dinner was last night. Brandon never showed up this morning, my daughter called in tears. Brandon had left a vague letter about not being worthy and disappeared. His phone was off, his apartment was empty. I held Emily as she cried, hating that she was in pain, but knowing it was better than the alternative. When she was calmer, I asked if she wanted to cancel the venue and caterers. No, she said, wiping her eyes. The guests are already here. Let's turn it into something else. A celebration that I dodged a bullet I didn't even see coming. Tonight, instead of a rehearsal dinner, we're hosting a survivor support fundraiser in the decorated reception hall. Emily doesn't know the whole truth yet. Parent, that conversation will come later when she's ready. For now, she just knows that somehow I saved her from making a terrible mistake. As for Brandon, Melissa tells me her office has opened an investigation. 3 other women have already come forward. Some monsters wear tuxedos. Some victims become mothers who will do anything to protect their daughter's parent, even from the ghosts of their own past.